what they do is designed.
You took your 6-year-old to see Sabrina Carpenter. That's never a good idea. What? Yeah, like, come on, cuz.
I went to go see Somber Sunday night at the Anthem in DC. It just kept getting worse the more it went on. He would make like super niche references to like 13-year-olds, but then he would also say like super vulgar stuff about like getting his sucked.
What? Bro, look at this nigga. He just looks strange. He just, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? No shirt on, cut, mad skinny, neck mad long. He got long hair. He got, you mean this Michael Jackson wannabe vest on? You is not Mike Jack, bro. What are you doing? You just a weird nigga.
References
he don't got his shirt on under here too. Like he's obviously a freak. Doing that 6'7" thing, like you appealing to the children, brother. What is you doing? Come on, somebody need to tackle this nigga, man. Come on. Kid role models aren't kid safe anymore, and it's very obvious. We got a video by Janae Danielle, shout out to her. And then when I think about kids role models, immediately I start thinking of Sabrina Carpenter. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's singing them songs on stage. The parents, they wasted their money bringing their kids to this concert because they thought it was just going to be some innocent little performance, a kid's song, a kid's pop star that they, you know what I'm saying, child probably looks up to. And then you got Sabrina Carpenter arching her back on the stage and singing the song. And then you just mad confused as to how you even got here. What all your life decisions made you get to this exact moment where you watching a John you thought was kid friendly arch her back on the damn stage. I don't know how we got here neither. Only one way to find out. Kids role models aren't kid safe anymore. Janae, take it away.
The teens aren't making music anymore, so there's no teenager music to listen to.
I went to go see Somber Sunday night at the Anthem in DC. It just kept getting worse the more it went on. He would make like super niche references to like 13-year-olds, but then he would also say like super vulgar stuff about like getting his sucked.
Bring back stuff for the kids. Because when I was growing up, we had
super vulgar stuff.
Bro, look at this nigga. Make, like, he just looks strange. He just, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? No shirt on, cut, mad skinny, neck mad long. He got long hair. He got, you mean this Michael Jackson wannabe vest on? You is not Mike Jack, bro. What are you doing? You just a weird nigga.
Niche references.
He don't got his shirt on under here too. Like he's obviously a freak.
13-year-olds, but then he would also
doing that 6'7" thing, like you appealing to the children, brother. What is you doing? Come on, somebody need to tackle this nigga, man. Come on.
Say like super vulgar stuff about like
get him out of here.
Sucked. Bring back stuff for the kids. Because when I was growing up, we had LaBow Wow, Romeo B2K. We had all of them. The kids need kids.
Yes, it's the parents' job to make sure their kids are watching and seeing the right things. But also, what else is this kid supposed to watch?
If you think kids are growing up too fast today,
bro, what are we doing?
Uncomfortable reason that traces back.
Why do we got our whole children dressed up as adults, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Trying to look as, for lack of a better term, as appealing and beautiful as possible. Like, why are they fully dressed up in makeup and clothes and things that an adult woman would wear? Similarly with men, it's not as blatantly sexual with a child male, typically, from what I know. You know what I'm saying? They might just dress up their son in Balenci's, I don't know, a Gucci bag, something like that. But you know, when it's the woman, you know what I'm saying, and they wearing the clothes that really accentuate their figure, you know, and then you try to do the same thing with the children, that's where you just gotta stop, bro. Like, you getting into crazy uncharted territory, and some parents genuinely see nothing wrong with that. They're just like, oh no, I'm dressing up my child to be a mini me. Whole time you don't really see what you're doing. Like, you really got to take into consideration what you're doing.
Than you may realize. Before social media influenced every thought, trend, and personality trait of a child's life, there was a different type of influence that decided what childhood looked like.
Over the years, Disney Channel perfected the formula not only for producing successful kids' TV, but also for launching countless child stars who would develop into some of the most influential adult names in entertainment. So who exactly is the Disney kid, and how do they continue to shape our—
I will say this, these Disney kids, or these childhood actors in generally, you know what I'm saying, some of them break out and do great things with their life seemingly unscathed and in a positive mental space, like Zendaya, for example, right? Zendaya doing her thing, shout out to her. But a lot of them go down the route where, you know what I'm saying, they get addicted to drugs, they become seemingly crazy, they just spiral and they ruin their lives, right? Which is, it pegs the question, what's really going on behind the scenes at these, you know what I'm saying, these childhood acting channels and these agencies and stuff like that? But that's a story for another day. I'm probably going to react to another video similar to that. But the main thing I feel like is the reason why there's no more kid role models is because of social media, bro. It's always social media. Back in the day, you would just watch these channels like Disney Channel, not Cartoon Network. They didn't really have what's it called? Human actors on that joint, cartoons. But Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, other kid-friendly shows where, you know what I'm saying, the TV shows are aimed at children, right? You really just see them on the show and you're like, oh, this is the kid. This is the real person in real life. You may see something else that they show on the channel. It's very limited access and it's very controlled views of the person that you're idolizing on the TV. They're not doing anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? It has to be television safe. It has to be kid friendly. But on social media, they're the ones posting their real lives. You don't really know what they're going up to now. You know what I'm saying? And in this day and age where children are getting their first phones by like age 5, that's a little bit of a drag, but they getting their first phones mad early nowadays. They get on, you know what I'm saying, social media. The parents, they don't want to deal with the kids no more, so they just hand them the iPad. That's why the iPad kid is such a popular term. They get access to the internet. They start seeing these people doing not so kid-friendly things on social media. And now, you know what I'm saying, all of a sudden we're exposed to these things. It's just regular for kids to be exposed to these obscene, like, what's it called? Inappropriate things going on. And it's just not a great thing at all. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like social media might be the main culprit in that. Obviously, parents do need to monitor what their children are watching. But when you're, you know what I'm saying, you're not trying to really parent right now and you just hand them the electronics, you don't really know what they're getting up to. So it's just not very good.
Shared culture as they grow up.
Britney Spears was one of the earliest answers to that question, and while she wasn't the first teen idol, because of course there were icons for every young generation, she was the blueprint for the modern machine that created the ecosystem every teenage girl was supposed to be a part of.
Being out there in the public as much as I am in the public eye, it's just inevitable that I'm going to be a role model for them, and they're going to have to, you know, they're going to look up to me, which is flattering, but I just can't be stupid and do stupid things, which I wouldn't anyway. So I've just got to, you know, try to be confident and positive towards life, and hopefully that'll rub off on them.
Yeah.
Back in
the responsibility meant a lot more back in the day, but nowadays you got Sabrina Carpenter doing what she do. You got that one bull doing what he do, talking about getting his meat sucked to 13-year-old children. Yeah, where did the, you know what I'm saying, integrity, where did the morals, where did the decency really go? I'm confused.
Late 80s, early 90s, the music charts were being dominated by grunge, gangsta rap, Madonna, edgy alternative that was seen as too mature and borderline dangerous.
The first wave of the Satanic Panic was back in the 80s when Christian fundamentalists blamed Iron Maiden and Judas Priest for teenagers unaliving themselves and playing D&D.
Since kicking off his Dead to the World tour in October of '96, Manson has met opposition at almost every stop along the way.
If they're going to have an atmosphere here that praises Satan, we're going to lift Jesus higher.
Because think about it, if you're a teenager, what could possibly make you want to listen to an album more than your parents telling you that you are not allowed to?
Parents all over the world were desperate for something safe and predictable for their kids. They needed a symbol of innocence that they could point their children
Jesus
towards.
Christ, bro.
And as comforting as that narrative sounded,
having children comes with so much things that you don't even think about, bro. Constantly monitoring what they're absorbing, you know what I'm saying? Correcting bad behaviors that they might pick up at school or somewhere else where you're not at. It just comes with a lot, as well as, you know what I'm saying, obviously taking care of them, properly bathing them, properly, dressing them, properly feeding them, properly providing for them, making them have a comfortable life. It also comes with a lot more things you don't usually think about. It's a whole lot of things going on. It's a full-time job, to say the least. That is no understatement.
it meant a teenager basically became a cultural safety net for an entire...
Especially in this day and age, bro, where social media is a thing. If you even make the single slightest mistake and your child come on the internet talking about, yeah, my parent, you know what I'm saying, they didn't do this for me. And they try to paint you as an enemy, even though you did your very best to be a good parent. It's like, yo, bro, come on, what can I do?
Entire generation.
You can make sure they not watching Sabrina Carpenter. That's a start.
Britney was
Indeed.
carrying the responsibility of being America's daughter on her back, but America was a strict parent. Let's just say that. In today's video, we're breaking down how an entire teen idol system was built, how it fell apart, and how the collapse set the stage of stars
Yeah, like, this is
teens are
crazy.
obsessed with today. Welcome to the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed, and I'm not saying you have to subscribe. You're classy. I know you don't just give those away for free, but hopefully at the end of this video, we become bestie, enough for you to take that next step.
Indeed.
Since Britney was given the title of America's daughter, that meant she wasn't allowed to grow up on her own terms.
Is this Britney Spears?
America's daughter, that meant she wasn't allowed to grow up on her own terms. The world had already decided that she belonged to their children.
Britney, you are a teen sensation, and there are a lot. I was watching the faces of people, besides the guys drooling and women, girls singing along. There's a tremendous admiration factor here. You represent a lot to these people. What is it from your perspective, you know? Like, what do you think you represent to these people?
Well, I try to portray someone who is confident and I go for what I believe in and I go for what I want in life. So hopefully that comes across to the audience.
The influence Britney had on kids all over the world was also the blueprint for how kids presented themselves, how they dressed, and how they acted. The parents seen this anti-rock star, a wholesome Southern girl next door on the Mickey Mouse Club, and they said, yes, this is the girl who I want my children to look up to.
This is who I'll have raising my kids. I feel like a lot of parents do that.
But then she didn't fit that.
You gotta be, whoa, this is a crazy transition. But you gotta be very, you know what I'm saying, involved in your child's life. If you're gonna have a child, you gotta be a parent. You can't just have a child and not want to be a parent. That's not how these things work. You know what I'm saying? You can't be selfish. That's why it's really important to think through, are you really willing to be a parent? Don't ask yourself, do I want to have children? Ask yourself, do I want to be a parent? I feel like that's a lot more important nowadays.
Image to the media standard anymore. She was never supposed to step outside that blueprint of teen innocence. She was supposed to be for the children forever.
Well, I think she has a great voice and she had a great performance, but I think that a lot of little kids watch her and like sometimes I think she can wear what she decides to wear, but I think that she should just watch what she wears at times and where she is sometimes for little children.
But the world forgot one thing that I feel like everyone should know, and that is...
See, the thing is, like, these childhood actors, they do eventually grow up. So it's kind of unfair to... Even though I'm not the type of person to, you know what I'm saying, just show my body unnecessarily. It is self-expression though, so you can do whatever you want at the end of the day. But to box someone into the role of childhood role model for their entire life is kind of selfish. And they're not entitled to do that for you. That responsibility is kind of just thrust upon them. Like that lady asking her the question, a lot of children look up to you. What do you think that means? Are you doing a good job to be a good role model? Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't force somebody to do that forever. Eventually, they will grow up. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like in rebellion, they often end up doing the most extreme things, which is why we see what we see today.
Teenagers grow up, they evolve, and they rebel. And you can't threaten them with violence when they do.
With Madonna as her model, Britney Spears has upset a lot of mothers in this country, starting with the wife of the governor of Maryland, who appeared at an anti-violence rally. And well, listen to what she said.
Really, if I had an opportunity to shoot Britney Spears, I think I would.
Bro, what? What are we talking about? What did she do to bro? What did she do to warrant that wrath? You saying this on live television?
If I had an opportunity
to shoot Britney Spears, I think I would. Bro, what?
Shoot Britney Spears, I think I would.
Oh, that's horrible.
That's crazy.
That's really bad.
Because of the example for kids and how hard it is to be a parent and keep all of this away from your kids.
Well, that's really sad that she said that. Ew.
Britney
in 2004, literally just take the phone. Like, how hard was it back then? I understand. I do understand when they go to school, you still, you know what I'm saying, you got their friends whispering in their ear. You can't control things entirely, but bro, once you see what Britney doing, just don't show them that. Instead, you want to kill the source? Like, bro, just be a better parent.
On to push past that mold of being America's token of innocence, but it left a hole in the perfect teen idol pedestal. Now, I do have to bring this up because once upon a time, teens and preteens did have their own designated lanes. There were magazines like J14, Tiger Beat, and M Magazine. There was music literally designed and filtered
Kidz Bop.
right into Kidz Bop.
I was really gonna say, bro, Kidz Bop was really carrying back in the day. Like all the all the songs back then that were, you know what I'm saying, even the teeniest bit extreme, Kidz Bop, they watered them Jones down. And them Jones was still fire, I ain't gonna lie.
And you can say all you want about Kidz Bop today, but back in the day, it was a moment, okay? Around
Facts.
the time that they were really popping, they were out charting Drake. Kids were actually
That's
excited
crazy.
to download the latest song on their MP3 players, put their wired headphones in, and hear their own version of whatever was on the radio.
That's such a
which
genius
really
marketing
makes me
scheme,
think
bro.
Headphones have really come a long way.
A genius
this
business.
message is sponsored by Raycon.
Hey, shout out Raycon, man. I'm gonna get that one day.
Raycon.
That's how I know I'm gonna have made it as a YouTuber. Once I get a Raycon sponsorship, oh yeah, shout out Janae, man.
For sponsoring today's video. So now that Britney Spears was beyond Disney's reach, even though they basically quote unquote built her, they stepped in with a foolproof plan to make sure that the next teen pop star never stepped out of line again.
2006 marked a major shift for the Disney Channel as they decided to go a more musical route. Disney Channel was seeing success like they had never seen before. This new wave of Disney Channel stars would experience their lives changing overnight as their fame rocketed off at a faster rate than any of their predecessors, and Disney Channel was ready to cash in.
The immediate success of the hit television show Hannah Montana pushed Miley Cyrus, the main star, into a type of spotlight no child is expected to experience. And not only did it push her into the spotlight, but it pushed her into a lot of pressure. And what kind of pressure could a 12-year-old girl even be pushed to go through? Well, it was about the same as Britney Spears. It's just a bit different because for Britney, they were managing and sadly controlling her entire career. But for Miley, they were managing her whole underage identity.
Every time she had a thought, she thought about Disney and how they would feel about her response.
Do you ever swear?
Crazy.
No. You stub your toe. What do you say?
Rats.
I don't know. Ow.
Disney owned her mind.
The pop stars that were produced out of Disney were perfectly curated to be the perfect role model for millions of young people around the world. And the pop stars...
As a consumer of the shows, you really don't think about these things, but it is crazy. It makes sense.
Knew that. It was a piece of them they basically sacrificed to stay on Disney's good side.
Yeah.
Disney had this the specter of the legacy of the Disney brand.
Because when do you graduate from a role model? When you grow up? Because even sometimes there's adult actors, like they showed Debbie Ryan. When she was on Jessie, I'm pretty sure she was a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? Like when do you graduate? When do you escape Disney's clutches? Truly, I wonder, do you ever? I think you got to force yourself out of there at this point.
That always hangs over everything. And so they were much more conscious of living up to that brand, making sure the kids were role models, and that extended to the showrunners and the people running the shows on set. So you see Disney much more willing to part ways with people when they crossed a line or when there was tension that maybe has allegedly not been what happened at other children's networks.
Disney knew that the more successful these stars got, the more money the parents spent. But the parents weren't spending much money if the 15-year-old star was seen doing topless photo shoots.
There's the offending picture in question, and it's Miley with just like a sheet over her front, and you can see her nude back. And her hair is tousled. She's got a dark eye on,
this is crazy.
a little red lips. And basically everybody lost their minds that this was so sexually provocative.
Yeah, was she a child at the time? That is insane.
Inappropriate.
That they would let this happen.
If
If she was a grown woman, though, shoot. You know what I'm saying? That's expression right there. Do whatever you want. As long as you're not hurting nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Parents react after Miley Cyrus poses for a provocative photo shoot. Does that change your image of Hannah Montana?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of shocked.
Just the business of controlling and exploiting children for your own monetary gain, bro, that can never end well. If you're trying to be a good person, you probably won't make a whole lot of money. As sad as that is, bro, that's just the case. That is just the case.
I'm embarrassed for them, actually.
I would have thought she wanted to be a better role model.
I believe if that picture had been taken in her mid-20s, it would have been okay. I don't think anybody would have flinched at it. But at 15
No, that's
years
cap.
old, no.
It makes her look like
They still would have had a problem with it for sure.
a, scum.
They made her look like
A scum.
They made her look like she was something that she's not.
This was honestly the beginning of the end for Miley's Disney reputation. There were music videos, quote-unquote scandalous photos. Some even recall pole dancing while performing Party in the USA.
Miley Cyrus was one of the performers, and she actually performed with a stripper pole.
She's always getting herself in trouble.
I think if she was over 18, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but this is, she's 16,
Yeah.
This is a Teen Choice Awards, this isn't the MTV Movie Awards. It's just a little too much.
At this point,
How did I miss all of this? I didn't even realize any of this happened.
Miley
Hey, I wasn't that tied in. I think I was watching Nickelodeon or something.
was a liability to Disney. They had angry parents, shocked and confused.
No, I think this was before I was watching like real shows. I think I was still on my cartoon wave back then.
Children and the media in an uproar because they couldn't control their perfect puppet.
Also around this time, photos leaked of her and her boyfriend at the time kissing and cuddling. Disney was not happy. All of their stars kept a squeaky clean image, so Miley was towing the line. Her parents didn't want her to go wild. Disney didn't want her to go wild. And because of it, Disney did everything they could to disassociate with her.
Now, a lot of you and myself are probably thinking that the reactions to these teenagers just experienced teenhood was extreme.
Yeah.
Because at the time, yes, it was dramatic. But maybe, just maybe, and this is something that a lot of us probably don't want to admit,
What's
but
good?
a part of me wonders if the panic that came from the media and the parents, a part of me is wondering if they could almost see into the future. A part of me wonders if that panic was them realizing that they couldn't control the look of innocence anymore. Now, here's where this video is taking a turn and where the story becomes way bigger than just two teenage girls.
Shoot.
Because the overall
I
circumstance
think they just wanted to keep making money off these people.
of both stories sent Hollywood into what I believe to be a panic. I think executives took a step back and realized that building an entire brand on the image of a teenager came with a level of pressure and scrutiny the network and the teenager couldn't survive.
I'm sure you guys have all heard about this open essay that Joe Jonas wrote for New York Magazine. And in it, he talked about how he and his brothers were controlled, every aspect of their lives, by Disney.
Joe Jonas spoke of this in 2013 when he said being a part of a company like Disney Channel comes with certain expectations. That the pressure to please Disney Channel executives, their parents, and fans is the kind of pressure no teen should ever be under.
And while I don't put it past Disney to even put that aside and take advantage of these teens, work them to death just to cash a check off their bloodline for life, at this point, around the late 2010s, it was really out of their control. Social media was rising, and platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Tumblr, and eventually TikTok started shaping
They took the cap off, bro.
kids way faster than any network executive ever could. The new teen idols weren't being filtered and media trained through Disney, they were coming straight from the internet.
Young people inherently look up to people older than them. Back in the day of Disney and Nickelodeon TV shows, that wasn't as big of a deal because we were shown content that was somewhat resembling a childhood reasonably similar
it's
to
kind of crazy because some of these people know they do have a childhood fan base. So you would think that they would try not to be the worst influence on them. But at the end of the day, they're not obligated to do that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, them still knowing that they have that childhood audience and then still doing some, you know what I'm saying, not so safe for work things. It's kind of nasty work. It is pretty much nasty work because they can say things like, oh, I never asked that child to be my fan. But you're literally exploiting, you're exploiting their viewership and making money off of them watching you. And you're feeding them this garbage, for lack of a better term, this not safe for work material. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really act like you're innocent in this whole matter.
that of our own. But today, the kids on TikTok not only have access to also other kids making TikToks, they have access to more or less every other demographic of human being that exists. So it's up to them who they want.
But shoot, they didn't ask to have a childhood audience though, but yeah.
A star to be or who they want to follow. And it's probably not going to be someone that looks younger than them.
Not to mention the teen stars coming from that era were way more mature than the pop princesses kids were.
Like, I wouldn't really understand trying to sell, like, well, I'm a man though, so I'm not really trying to sell my sex. I'm trying to sell something else. But as a woman, I would understand selling your sex if it relates to your music or your OnlyFans. But anything else, or maybe your clothing, I don't know, sex does sell. Sex sells, I ain't gonna lie, it does. I was trying to say you don't really have to do that just to be popular, but you know, there's a reason why that is a saying. Sex does sell.
Used to seeing. Artists like Lorde, Halsey, and Billie Eilish were coming on the scene, and their music, style, and audience was shifting with that culture.
Around 2013,
Yo,
when songs
Billy,
like Royals
what was
dropped,
that?
it changed the pop music.
Look like a gremlin, man. What are we doing?
And their music, style, and audience was shifting with that
That's Billie Eilish, right?
culture.
I'm terrified.
Around 2013, when songs like Royals dropped, it changed the pop music landscape. I don't think there was any way Disney Channel stars were going to be able to keep up with the mature content. They were still singing their friendly dance pop songs. After Royals, you see people like Khalid, Alicia Cara, Troye Sivan, and Halsey rise.
Kids were growing up with the music now. We were listening to party rock anthems, and that one song that my mama hated when it came on the radio, Whistle by Flo Rida.
I was trying to think about what the solution is, bro, of, you know what I'm saying, what these influencers should do. But at the end of the day, that's a loaded question. You can't really control what they do. So you as a parent, how about you just control what your kid watch? You ever think about that? Don't just give them the iPad when you're tired of being a parent. No, bro, you got to put in more work, more effort than that. If you can't control what they do, you can't control the world, so you got to control yourself, bro. Like, it's a tale as old as time. I forgot the most important thing. If you're seeing that these people are doing things that you don't want your child to see, just don't let your child see it. But at the end of the day, they will reach a certain age where, you know what I'm saying, they try to rebel and get hold of that stuff. Anyway, what's really the best type of, I don't know. Because banning them from watching certain things is only going to make them want to see it even more. So the best thing might be education. I ain't even going to lie. Tell them why you don't want them to see it. And really keep it a buck with them, you know?
That song was nasty, and I had no business singing it at 10 years old. But we were in a new era, listening to Kesha sing about illegal substances and Katy Perry kiss a girl. And Kids Bop was still going strong, but they couldn't keep replacing the word kiss with hug as easily anymore. The lyrics in these modern songs were getting way too raunchy to mask.
One good example out of a few is their
Sure.
cover of Bruno Mars' The Lazy Song, where the verse on his says, meet a really nice girl, have some really nice sex, and she's gonna scream out, this is great. On the Kids Bop version, it says, meet a really nice girl, send a really nice text, and she's gonna write back, you're so great. Another example
Yeah.
of Lady Gaga's Telephone, where she says, out in the club and I'm sipping that bub, but Kids Bop says, out in the club and I'm eating that grub. Why are kids at the club? Or even on the Old Town
Yeah.
Road remix, instead of saying lean all in my bladder, they say riding on my bladder, which that's just strange.
What?
So now playing with dolls at 12 years old, that was embarrassing and something that you didn't tell your friends. Even I was shamed for it. I vividly remember going through that stage of, should I play with these dolls? You know, I'm in 6th grade. Like, should I play with the dolls? I don't know if I should tell my friends, like, hey, do you want to come over and play?
Yeah.
Do I even say play anymore? Like, do you want to hang out now? Like, it was a whole shift, right? But at that point, I realized that I was getting older and I didn't want to be a baby anymore. So my Baby Alive doll was at Goodwill. Now, they definitely tried something with JoJo Siwa, I can't lie.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's JoJo. Welcome back.
She's still doing all this, by the way. Or not all of it, but she still looks like this, as far as I know. And she's older than I am. And to put that into perspective, I'm 22 years old. And JoJo Siwa is older than me, but she's still got a bow in her hair, wearing pink. But I think she is doing things like, you know what I'm saying, cursing nowadays, which is, you know what I'm saying, not very kid friendly, but hey, You know what I'm saying?
My YouTube channel.
I think she was the last grasp at hope for the kids and innocence. And they had someone to look up to, okay? She was still wearing high ponytails and bows at 17. And her bows were $1 million industry, so you know kids were buying them.
You brought bows back.
Thank you. The bows have sold over 80 million. Bows.
80 million in bows.
But it was already too late. We were already in that era where it was socially unacceptable to be a kid past the age of 12.
Tweens today aren't at the mall anymore. They're shopping at Sephora, TikTok Shop, and Shein. They're also just not experiencing the tween phase altogether.
So if Claire's was going out of business and no one was shopping in them, where were all the bows being sold now?
I think I was shopping at Old Navy. I still had that stage, bro.
No one was buying them. They were too busy.
Imagine jumping straight to like Calvin Kleiner, H&M, Ralph Lauren, Gucci. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? As a 12-year-old talking about I want some Gucci flip-flops. Like, little bro, what is you talking about? Go to class, man. Come on.
Wearing, I don't know, scrunchies. So, once JoJo broke free, because trust me,
she's done.
You're always gonna break free.
Okay.
That's the lesson here. That was the turning point that proved no matter the amount of branding, media training, or Disney, the middle ground was gone, and it was being replaced by something a lot more grown.
So as a child, you can freely go on any platform and take in any content available to you. And this means that the kids that are going on these platforms are being influenced primarily by adults and teenagers. And this has led children into seeing anything that's made for preteens like Claire's or Ardeen as cringy, because it's too childish compared to everything else they see on social media.
So now we're here in a time where the celebrities teens are screaming for, or should I say barking for, we'll get to that later, they're not PG, and none of what they do is designed.
You took your 6-year-old to see Sabrina Carpenter. That's never a good idea. What? Took my 9 and 4-year-old to their first music concert, K. Dot and SZA. Okay. Nah, I wouldn't do this either.
For kids.
Leave the kids at home, bro. Get them a babysitter. Whatever happened to that?
But yet, here kids are.
Yeah, like, come on, cuz.
And I should probably hurry up and throw this out there before y'all come for me. Yes, these celebrities are adults, making adult music, performing adult themes, and basically doing exactly what the industry rewards.
Do we have children in the crowd watching Glorilla do what she just did?
Adult themes.
I hope not.
Basically doing exactly what the industry rewards.
I think I seen some. Okay, that's bad.
But my point is, it's now being sold to children because children don't have any other children to look up to.
It's always the kids aren't kids anymore. No, the kids are kids. They're just exposed to a lot of things earlier than you would have been because they're always on that damn phone. The teenagers aren't teenagers. They go straight from being kids to being adults. Being a teenager used to be fun. There used to be things for teenagers. There's nothing for them anymore. No teen magazine, no teen award show, no teen channel, no teen celebrity.
So the fact that kids enjoy this is just a product of them thinking that being a kid is cringe or not having the kid-friendly space that parents want them to have. So the parents lash out like this.
Sabrina Carpenter is allegedly facing multiple lawsuits from angry parents who say that her concerts are, quote, too sexualized.
I'm seeing a ton of parents complaining about some.
Just don't take your child to the concert. You can't control another person, bro. Not even your child. You can't. But try your best anyway to limit what they see while you still can. You know what I'm saying? You were literally having the child. You were given the responsibility to raise them in the best way. And you complaining about Sabrina Carpenter doing this. Like, obviously, she doing a lot. I ain't gonna lie, but you know what I'm saying? Like, she was a childhood star too at a certain point. So I understand. But once you seen that little shift she was going through and you seen this, hey kid, we're not watching Sabrina no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, turn on some Elmo, bro. I don't really know what you should do, but direct their attention somewhere else instead of lashing out on everybody else for, you know what I'm saying, failing to do your job. Do your job. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? You gotta adapt. You gotta be adaptable. Don't blame the world, blame yourself. Even if it's not your fault, see what you could do to change the situation, because what are you going to do? Be a victim for the rest of your time? That just ain't it. I understand being mad, but you know what I'm saying? Don't just give up the ability for you to make a change, because that's what you're essentially doing by suing Sabrina Carpenter. Like, instead of suing her, just stop having your kid watch him. Like, yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter concert.
Talking about that they're too provocative.
Now, I realize it's not as clear cut as that, but what good does it do to sue Sabrina Carpenter? Like, what did you even sue her for? Indecency? She's an adult. She's a grown woman. Whoever said that she made music for children, did she ever say that? If she did, all right, cool. You might got some on your hands. You might got a case on your hands, but as far as I know, I don't think she ever did those.
The dances are too sexy. She's singing about sex and all this other stuff.
Let's look at the bigger picture here. These kids don't have that training wheel or pacifier celebrity. Hear me out. A training wheel celebrity that will basically grow up as that child that listens to them grows up, and then eventually they'll all grow up into adulthood and then be exposed to adulthood things like the bike. I hope y'all are keeping up with me and all my metaphors. And we all know kids are sponges and they need an influence, but their influence...
Don't let your child look up to Cardi B, bro.
Don't
Look how she's dressed. Come on.
Look like kids.
Look at she's encouraging the child to do this type of pose too. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, just these things typical of adults. Come on. Why are you encouraging that? You're literally enabling it.
I just don't understand how there's just not any age appropriate like music artists for like kids and preteens anymore. Like, that just doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. And so I'm just like, what are kids listening to? Like, they're listening to the same thing that we're listening to as adults.
There's a multitude of reasons of why kids today look a little bit differently and act a little bit differently. And I think it's because we aren't encouraging them to be kids. Because when you think about the 2000s and the 90s, they made being a kid look so fun.
So now they're gravitating to more mature things, and they want someone that's young enough to be relatable, but grown enough to be admirable. Let that sink in. But Sabrina Carpenter was the perfect fit. She grew up inside the same safe and sweet Disney bubble that Miley did. But when she stepped away from Disney and her fans stepped away with her, she didn't become their training wheel celebrity. And also, I'm not saying that she should have to take on the role to be a role model to millions of young girls.
Did having that label as being a Disney actor.
When do you break out? That's a good question, because knowing you have a childhood audience but still going to that extreme, I wouldn't do it. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You're justified to do whatever you want. It's your life. It is your life.
Was that a disadvantage?
I don't want to sound ungrateful. It was not a disadvantage. This is a box I wanted to be
I
on.
thought Shorty was British for a second.
I was 10 or 11. That was my dream. I wanted to be on a Disney show. But on the flip side of it, I didn't know at the time the way that people perceived it, and how it made them perceive your talent or your capabilities. And
how do you think it made them perceive your talent?
I was just like limited, or it was just like maybe one note or a little bit juvenile. And I think I was on a mission to prove them wrong.
No one should have to take on that pressure. We seen what happened to Miley. We seen what happened to Britney. So while I respect her trying to break out of that mode, it left a gap in the industry. Now we have young girls singing lyrics about tears running down thighs, and they probably don't even know what it means, but actually these kids are so grown today, they probably know what it means. And it's insane.
The reason why parents want Sabrina Carpenter to be kid-friendly is because there's no kid-friendly spaces anymore. When you're a tween, now you go from being a kid to getting on TikTok and seeing Sabrina Carpenter and liking Sabrina Carpenter, of course, and then wanting to see her live, and then the parents are like, why isn't this a kid-friendly show? It's not meant for kids, but there's nothing meant for kids, so what else was this kid supposed to like and listen to?
But not only are they singing what Sabrina sings, but they're doing whatever somber
it's tough
tells them to, no matter how degrading. Somber is the result of a rising celebrity that didn't have to come from media training and Disney to steal the hearts of preteens and young kids around the world. And his concerts have caused a lot of controversy today, from making his young audience made up of mostly teenage girls bark for him.
Whatever, Nashville.
Come on, bro.
Everyone bark for me, please. Thank you. I like that. Sexy.
And then
Whoa.
grabbing his stuff on stage.
I've never heard of Cuz, bro, but that's probably a good thing.
Like, aren't you the same mother I was just saying?
A 25-year-old attended my concert and was basically complaining that there were too many tweens there. I was making too many tweens there.
See, I don't know. Me personally, if I know that my audience is filled with, like, teenagers and underage girls, I'm not grabbing my mic on stage.
And even encouraging his very young audience to participate in messy relationship drama on stage.
My name is Shane. Everyone say hi to Mavis. Ready to call your ex?
Bro, he just built like a villain. Like, he too skinny. He's too skinny, bro. He built like a Disney villain or something.
Okay. Aiden cheated on Maddie, so we're gonna put his @ on the screen, and everyone go just like unfollow Aiden because we don't like a cheater.
Now, we can't be mad that this is what teenagers are enjoying, but we also can't ignore the fact that the line between teen culture and adult culture have basically
been blurred.
and it's just gone. I can't help but think back to boy bands and celebrities that young girls fanned over back in the day.
Justin
like
Bieber
One
got it the
Direction,
worst way,
Mindless
bro.
Behavior, even Big Time Rush. And I don't remember them making their very young and impressionable audience.
Big Time Rush did their thing. I ain't heard nothing bad about them, you know what I'm saying? They did it properly. They did it pretty properly.
Say or
Even nowadays, they still singing the same songs, I'm pretty sure.
do anything inappropriate on stage.
In a concert with a bunch of tweens and you're calling them good boys and girls, calling yourself daddy. What? Oh, and let's not forget telling them to bark for you.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says trying to defend this man. That is predatory behavior, and it would be if it was a woman. It doesn't matter. This is not normal. Like, One Direction wasn't doing this.
Moral of the story, we can all see that the culture is evolving and it's speeding up pretty fast, and these teenagers, they have no choice but to keep up with it, especially since there's no middle ground for them. Thank you for tuning into the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed. If
WVid by Janae, man. WVid. It's a tough topic, bro. I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying, really solve it. Because there's still childhood shows, but, you know, at a certain point, teens will be teens, but there's no teen shows. So, like, what are they going to watch? You know, the best advice I could offer is just, as a parent, constantly monitor, you know what I'm saying, your child's activity. And if you can't, you know what I'm saying, control what's being made available for them to watch, like, you can't, you know what I'm saying, conjure up an ideal show that you would want them to watch, or ideal things that you would want them to do that's not too raunchy or too adult. I guess I would just say, bro, you gotta be honest with them. Like, just be like, hey, man, like, you know what I'm saying, this thing that you're watching, it has some adult themes in it. I don't feel like you quite can understand, and honestly, it might corrupt you, you know what I'm saying? It might, I don't really know what you should say to them, bro, but I just know you should monitor your children's activity. You should be transparent with them. Don't try to shelter them forever, because they will eventually become an adult. So I guess I would just say be there for them. Like, just be aware what they're doing at all times, or at least try your best to. Even if they try to get mad at you and say, man, you're so annoying, you know the reason you're doing this, so you just got you gonna have to hold that. When you had kids, you low-key signed up for this responsibility, so don't get mad. Be glad, you know what I'm saying, that you could be a good parent. Like, yeah, bro, at the end of the day, be transparent with them, be involved, be an active figure in their life, you know what I'm saying? Put them in sports, I don't know, introduce them to anime, video game, I don't know, bro. Just monitor your kids, bro. As long as you can, monitor your children. Let me know what you guys think though of the topic in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all once again. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Love y'all. Peace.